Good evening. I now call the joint meeting of the Sioux Falls City Council, the Lincoln County Commissioners, and the Minnehaha County Commissioners for Tuesday, September 26, 2017. We'll start off with the roll call for the City of Sioux Falls.
Council members Erickson.
Here.
Erpenbach.
Here.
Kylie. Neitzert.
Here.
Rolfing. Selberg.
Here.
Starr.
Here.
Staley.
Here. There is a quorum present.
Roll call for Lincoln County. Long.
Here.
Schmidt.
Here.
Mr. Poppins.
Yes. Here.
King is here. Quorum for Lincoln County.
Gillespie is here as well.
Hey, it's all right, Dave. Let's see you.
Here.
Roll call for Minnehaha County.
Jean Bender,
Here.
Jeff Barth,
Here.
Dean Karski.
Here.
There's a quorum for Minnehaha County.
Thank you. I'd ask you all to stand, please, and join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll start with approval of the regular agenda. Is there a motion on the city side?
Move to approve Erpenbach.
Second, Neitzert.
Roll call vote.
Council members Erickson.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Neitzert.
Yes.
Selberg.
Yes.
Starr.
Yes.
Staley.
Yes.
Move approval on Minnehaha County side.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Move for approval on Lincoln County.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes.
Yes.
Item 1 is a second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the 2006 joint zoning regulations for Lincoln County and the City of Sioux Falls.
Thank you.
Albert Schmidt, City of Sioux Falls Planning Office. Thank you for your time today. I'll try to be as brief as I can, but still cover all the information. This isn't the first time you've seen it. I'll just make a note. We have 2 agenda items tonight. The presentation is this one for both items, and we'll take questions for each one after each reading. So for the first one here, executive summary of the history we've gone through. If you look at the dates, October 11th was when we did the 2040 comp plan for the city. It was adopted then from the counties later in March and April. When you look at what area this covers and what it limits, when you talk about joint jurisdiction, it helps for the City of Sioux Falls and the surrounding communities for plating, and for the City of Sioux Falls joint zoning authority to help limit and reduce growth in these areas prematurely that can cost both the residents and building owners money and the City of Sioux Falls money and time when you try to grow around and get these areas connected later on. The goal, again, is to really add in another review process to make sure these areas, when they do develop, are ready to develop and have the services as adequate as possible. When you look at the area that we're adding in, it's shaded here in this map. So this kind of shows you the existing dark black boundary is the current one today, and we're hoping to amend the ordinance to include the shaded areas outside that. And when you look at what's in that area, including the new area we're proposing that was approved with the comp plan adoption that both counties and the city have adopted already, there's about 33 existing rural residential subdivisions. There's a couple industrial parks, things like that as well in these areas. So again, our goal is to try to limit the growth of these areas or any new ones so that when we get out to these areas, the cost to everybody out there is as reasonable as possible. You're not trying to put other people in harm's way for financial liabilities in the future. So for this ordinance, the reason why we're here tonight, and I appreciate your time tonight, is we're actually kind of dotting the I's, crossing the T's of the ordinance itself. As we said before, the plan that was previously approved by all 3 groups included the border expansion, and the meetings that we had for the actual ordinance itself, these are the timelines for. And tonight is that final step. It's an exciting night. I appreciate you, again, being here for that. reason why we have to do this and why I went through the process. You guys have seen this 3 times probably now, but I'll go over it one last time just in case there's any other questions on it, is that joint jurisdiction authority is dictated by state law, and that line where we can go out to is dictated by state law. With, say, Sioux Falls and the growth we've had in the area and having surrounding communities, that plays a very great role. It also adds a little bit of complication in that area. And so it makes for an exciting process when you try to work with other communities, figuring out where the authorities lie, end, and begin, and making it easy for residents of this area to be able to figure out where do I go for what process. And so when you look at this statute from South Dakota Codified Law, they talk about the equidistant line or 6 miles out. Well, 6 miles is way further than we ever go, but the equidistant line is a very big player for us. When you look at the Sioux Falls area, you can see here you have Harrisburg, T, Crooks, Hartford, Brandon, all around us. I'm going to zoom in real quick on all these areas except for Brandon, because these other areas are the ones we came with agreements to with this process. Brandon, we had one previously, and that did not change. For T, you can see the red line here, the one that cuts kind of at angles, that's the equidistant line. So without an agreement, we wouldn't be able to go beyond that, but the city of Sioux Falls and the city of T have come to an agreement, and that's this black line to help both parties abut that area so that there's no overlap and there's no gray area where there's no authority in between those areas. For the city of Harrisburg, the same thing's true here. We can move south. We now are on the north side of 271st, and Harrisburg can come up to the south side of that then for their plating authority. Hartford, we just went over the equidistant line, so we came to agreement with them as well. Where that was at, again, this helps clarify for landowners where you're going. The goal of this line was to not cut any properties in half as they were platted or as they were tax parceled. That way it didn't make any hardships for any property owners to figure out where they needed to go. The one with Crooks was an interesting one because that's where a lot of our growth has happened, and as far as with the industrial park addition. And so that made for a unique line and dividing point and made it very important, in my opinion, to come up with an agreement so that we had platting and zoning in that area that matched up with City Crooks. And then these maps kind of give reference to both counties. Lincoln on the left, Minnehaha on the right, as far as where the existing boundaries were in gray and where the current ones now go. I'll let Mike Cooper finish off this slide.
Mike Cooper, the City of Sioux Falls, Planning and Building Services. I don't remember the last time that all 3 of these groups got together on an item. It's been a while, but this is really great. We appreciate you taking the time to do this. We've been working with both of your staffs at the county level, and as Albert talked about, we've also been meeting with the various municipalities around Sioux Falls to put this together. I think the last time we had a major revision of our joint jurisdictional boundary was about 2009, when we first adopted the 2040 comprehensive plan. And then when we updated that, that's why we're coming back here again to modify this. We've had joint jurisdiction in place for many years, going back to the 1970s with Minnehaha County and then later on with Lincoln County. It's important, as Albert talked about, and I hope you agree, that the way for us to manage growth in both counties and around the municipalities is to really push urban development in urban areas and keep the rural development in the rural areas. And we have some really good zoning provisions in place that we've been able to enforce with your support in terms of density zoning for rural residences and the limitations on new rural subdivisions. So we appreciate you supporting this tonight. This has been an effort that's been going on for quite a while, and this is the conclusion tonight. And again, I want to thank both Lincoln and Minnehaha counties, their planning and zoning staffs, for also helping us get through this process. Thank you.
Any of the members up here have any questions for the staff? Any questions from anyone in the audience on these items? Not, gentlemen on the county commission for Lincoln County, we're looking for a motion to approve as presented.
I'll move for approval.
Second, Schmidt.
We have a motion and a second. Voice vote, Mr. Gillespie? Mr. Poppins?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
I vote yes. Motion passes.
Is there a motion on the city side?
There is.
On the cities.
City of Sioux Falls.
Oh, sorry.
City council.
I could always run for mayor, you know.
It's your turn.
Nice try. Is there a motion on the city side?
Move to approve, Erpenbach.
Second, Salberg.
Roll call vote?
Councilmembers Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Starr?
Yes.
Staley?
Yes.
That passes unanimously. Agenda item 2.
I can go ahead and read that. So this is the second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the comprehensive extraterritorial zoning regulation ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls.
Albert Schmidt again, City of Sioux Falls Planning Office. Same presentation before. If I have any questions, I can help you out with this one. But for Minnehaha County instead of Lincoln County, sorry.
Okay, it's our second chance. Anybody have any questions? Anybody from the audience? Not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'm kind of shy, but I'll make a motion. Second.
So motion and a second on the county side. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Is there a motion on the city side?
Move to approve, Nitzert. Second, Star.
Roll call vote?
Councilmembers Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach? Nitzert?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Starr?
Yes.
Staley?
Yes. Motion carries. Is there a motion on the city side for adjournment?
I would move to adjourn.
Voice vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion for Lincoln County to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Move to
passes.
adjourn. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
We
Good night, everyone.
are adjourned.
You do that so